exact way he has always been speaking with me. In other matters that are serious in life, right? So I knew it was God. But I still had to go, some people would want to be like Gideon.
Thomas.
They want to do the fleece thing. Oh, appear to me. Let this happen. Let that happen. So I went back to God. God, if it's really you, okay. But immediately, I got that confirmation in my heart. You see, I went to my list. See, every man or lady has a checklist. Mm-hmm. We have a description, either mental or physical. We've written it down. My wife must be this. My wife must be that. My husband must be this. So when I went to my list, look, they checked out. Mm-hmm. Like, wow, God really knows what I want. She checked out. Look, I saw her the way I have never seen her before. Yes, I had my list, but she had never appeared to me the exact way I began to see her. In the midst of every other possibility of a lady I probably should have gotten married to, in the midst of every other possibility, with all the sisters or whoever I've come in contact with, she just stood out. Every other person became blurred. Mm-hmm. Literally, only her became visible to me. And I had this impression, deep love towards her. I fell in love with her. Let's call it spade. I just desired, like, wow. Mm-hmm. I saw her in a different light. Yes. And then there is that spiritual compatibility that you want to check out. On my checklist, spirituality is very important. Are we spiritually compatible? Of course, we're both Christians, the same denomination, the same belief, the same faith. So fundamentally, we're on the same page. Somebody who's going to help me grow spiritually. Somebody who would, iron sharpeneth iron. Mm-hmm. A lover of God. Somebody who would encourage me to even serve God more. So that checked out for me, and I got my confirmation.
So when he came to me and he told me, I also went to my checklist. I had this mental / physical checklist, and I wanted to be sure, despite the fact I had God crystal clear. But yes, I would follow what the Spirit of God is telling me, but I still wanted to be sure, So I went to my own checklist, and physically, we had this physical compatibility apart from the spiritual aspect, which he just said it was the main thing. So I went to the secondary. This spiritual, you can say that to be the primary. Yeah. That must be your primary checklist. Then the physical can be the secondary checklist. How is he socially? Is he sociable? Does he like the things that I like? Is he eloquent? Does he, those social characteristics, if he fits the category. That also brings me to a story. When I was in this line I was marriageable age, and then I started my career early. I got a car. I was driving a car at this point, and then somebody came and wanted to advise my mom, so that she could advise me. And I said, you're allowing your daughter at this young age to be driving a car. No brother will come and marry her. Some of us get that. You understand what I mean? And my mom told me, this is what they are saying, but I know it's not really important. I told my mom, I said, look, any man that is intimidated by the little progress that I have now is not my husband, because I know God has prepared greater things for me in future. And if he has a complex issue now, if he sees because I'm driving a car or I have a good job and all that, he's intimidated by me, when I get to that level, he will not push me to get there. He would, he would suppress that glory of God in my life. That man can never, ever be my husband. Well, she said, I know, that's what you're going to say. And it's true. When I met my husband, he encouraged me. He wasn't, intimidated because I was driving a car or because I had this air of confidence. He wanted an independent lady, and God gave him that. So what am I trying to say here is that you must be socially compatible, you must be spiritually compatible, so that you don't have issues to iron out in future.
Oh yes, and this brings me to the visibility part. How would you even know all this compatibility for a sister? Let me talk to the ladies now. If you're not visible, so we're all in church together or wherever you are that you conference, that you meet. and you are in the background. Nobody sees you. You do not participate in anything. You're not a worker. That's why I say it's easier for those who in their denomination or in their assemblies who are in the forefront. They are working for God. You can see them. Maybe they're in the choir. Hey, not everybody, but not everybody in the choir, right? Choir is not the only place I sing. I'm in the choir, so it doesn't mean that it is only in the choir. But you're working for God. When they say we're going for evangelism, you're available. There is night prayers, there's vigil, you're available. So we are searching, we are looking, but you need to be visible so that we can see you and even compare if you are the one God is actually talking about.
As a guy, are you just a Sunday member? You're not a worker in the church. Your pastor cannot vouch for you. You're not in any team. You're not in any, no assignment is given to you. You're not in any activity. You just come to church and off you go. How would anybody be able to vouch for you? How can she be sure that when she gets married to you, you will not bring her back spiritually? So she needs to know who she's getting involved with. I'm not saying that you cannot be a Sunday member. It might be because of your job, but somebody should be able to vouch for you. Check his Facebook account. What does he post? Who are his friends? Who are his mentors? What are the things he says? Who does he associate with? That would give you an idea to gauge to gauge him. Okay, does this person just, wear the camouflage of being holy, but if he leaves the congregation of Christians out there, he's somebody else?
As a brother, so you've prayed and God has spoken to you in accents clear and still. And it is Sister Praise. That's your wife. What do? Without further ado, you take that action. And here, I'm referring to proposal. It depends on your assembly, your denomination. For some, you can go directly to the sister in question and go to her, make your proposal. If she says yes, then you go to the church and you inform them, and then you'll be given permission to go through the process of getting married. While others, you do not have the permission to go straight up.
Like in our own denomination, you don't go to the sister. You don't. Yeah. Look, we come from a conservative background, and we like it. It might sound weird,
but for us. So for us, you do not go to a sister directly. What happens is, once you're sure, you go to the church. And then you go tell the leadership of the church, I've been praying, God is leading me to sister so-and-so. They say, oh, that's fine. So they need to give you permission. So you go through the process. So on the day that I finally got my own permission to go
this
speak,
is an interesting story.
So the future
you want to hear it.
Mrs. Oshoke, without further ado, I went straight up to her church. Now we belong to the same denomination, but we go to the different, location churches. So I went on this day. It was on a Monday evening. I'd gone to church. So I had to go and talk to her pastor so that I would get the permission to speak with her. That means I'll get a permission to go and propose. And so I got to her church, and guess what? The pastor that I needed to inform that I want to propose to his member happens to be her father. Hello.
Hallelujah.
So how do I speak to this pastor as a pastor and not as a prospective father-in-law?
I know you were shaking.
Shaking. I knew what I wanted, and there was nothing that was going to stand in my way when God has spoken to me.
Yeah.
And I am sure
it is not about that.
I will go to the mountains and back.
I will know.
And I will get
but
what I
to
want.
Speak to my
So
father.
I went and I met him. Good evening, sir. So I am here to talk to Sister Praise. Sister Praise. Sister Praise. Called his name. His name. Okay. Mind you, he was obligated to react as a pastor, not as a prospective father-in-law. Yes, it wasn't easy to do, but trust me, I got through it. And he said, but you're coming in the night, you cannot, we don't do things in the dark. I couldn't wait now. I had to do it. To say, hold on, come back on a Sunday. So I had to wait for another 5 to 6 days. And then finally on the Sunday, I left my church, I went to her church to finish the service, and I went back to the pastor. I'm back. And he said, okay, why not? You can go and speak with her.
Did you actually say that?
Yes, I'm back. Yeah. But you don't mind you. So I was going for a proposal. So I made sure I looked my best, put on my good shoes, put on my suit, my tie. You know, I was looking dap. I was going for a proposal.
Now, our own proposal, we don't do it like every other person does. You take the lady to a good place, buy her a meal. We're telling you our story here.
Yeah.
That didn't happen for us. As a pastor's daughter, the pastors were having meeting, other people were having meeting, and this was after close of service. So there were still some people in church, and he can't take me anywhere. He has to do it in church.
Yeah.
So I saw him as a friend. It's not that I haven't gotten some idea that this friendship, it has. Yeah.
You have to know now.
That's past ordinary now. So yes, he came to church, and the next thing, he didn't even wave to me, or he would have just called, hey, this is what no. He went straight to the pastor, my father, and my father did not say anything. So he went and then met the pastor, and the next thing he was coming to me all serious, like gang. What's going on? And the next thing is Sister Praise. When this Sister Praise starts, okay, can I see you? And then he took me, guess what, under a tree outside.
That was the only available space we could find. This was like a headquarters church. Yes, so everybody meetings here and there. And here I wanted to speak with my friend, but not speaking with her now as I'm speaking with her. I'm talking serious matters of the heart. So the answer can either break the heart or fill the heart with merriment. So the only available space I found, look, who says you cannot propose in the open? So I called my sister, and I called her to the available shade that was available. And then I say, hello, sister, I just went straight, I've been praying, leave the story. Bottom line,
okay,
will you marry me? Talk your own. Okay, so seriously. So I proposed to her. Here I've been praying to God, and I've been led to you. I've been led to you. I can't remember what I said exactly.
Anyway.
But bottom line, I've been praying, and I've led to you.
Talk your own. Anyway, he said it, and I told him, like every lady would do, okay, you're welcome. You know what, give me some time, let me pray and seek the face of God,
As if she didn't already know. Yes.
I didn't have all the confirmation then, so I had to talk to God. Hey.
So afterwards, what happened?
So yeah, I went to God, and like I told you earlier in the video, that was how God spoke to me. And look here, sisters, if God has spoken to you that this is the man for you, what's the need of wasting so much time? The following Sunday, he had his response. Hey, I don't talk my own. You are the guy for me. So what's the next thing? And hey, we started. There's no need dilly-dallying, taking so much time, playing hard to get. As believers, I don't think that should be our thing.
Yeah.
God, you go to God in prayer, and God speaks to you.
Yeah.
When you get the leading from God, it's God. When you get that leading, you go ahead.
Yeah.
But if you do not get that crystal clear leading from God, you wait. You wait until you are absolutely sure. Don't get carried away by the secondary things. Or he's tall, dark, and handsome, has a car, has a house of his own, has this, has that. And then there are some fundamentals that are not there, and you just get carried away. And God is telling you, no, this is not the person for you, and you still go ahead. No. Wait to hear from God, listen to God, and ask God to lead you. And the first person that comes might not be the person.
Oh, yeah.
The second, the third, the fourth. I've even heard of a situation where the 9th person or the 10th was the person that God wanted for her.
And brothers, let me quickly tell you this now before we go there. You are not the only one eyeing that sister. So once you get your confirmation, don't do slow motion. Acts. Look, as soon as I heard the vision, I saw the vision.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the voice
Mm-hmm.
and I got the permission. I ran with it to go and make my proposal. So don't be there, oh yes, I've gotten proposal, but I'm still waiting for the right time. There is no right time here, and I still want to put this in place. Look, overtaking is allowed. Some other brother who needs it the most would have been praying, I'm praying, and you are still there, you are slowing down. And maybe the same brother feels, I like this sister, and he has taken that sister to God in prayer. Me, I don't know, but I've heard that overtaking has happened. Where his sister will say yes to the brother that is available. So if you are there and you have not acted, then the one that needs it the most will go and overtake you. And the sister will say yes. And you start crying. But I was the one that saw her first. He overtook me. Bros, now you do yourself. You do that.
So if you've been blessed by what we have shared with you, please don't forget to like the video, share the video with your friends and family, with any single out there, and most importantly, please subscribe. Until we see you next time, remain blessed and
Bye.
bye-bye.